You okay? I took a lot out of you?
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, Ryan. How you doing?
See what I found.
Freddie.
What about Freddie?
That belongs to Freddie.
I wake up in the morning time. The first thing I do before I even brush my teeth.
I feel like my knees are gonna collapse.
Sarita clearly knows that she has a problem with her overeating.
Even worse, I have to live in the middle of my parents' living room.
And I feel like my family needs to give me some breathing room. But I know they're all proud of me.
Cauliflower.
It's a weekend.
Every day's a weekend for you right now.
My dad tells me what to do.
I mean, with the kids. Stephanie has 3 brothers, and so I met somebody.
Wake up, baby.
After I shower, my knees are grinding like rocks.
Ryan Barkdahl. Ryan Barkdahl was a 31-year-old cast member who debuted on My 600 Pound Life Season 10, where he began his fitness journey. Ryan was 740 pounds when he appeared on the show and hoped to have an independent life and family. However, his obesity prevented him from doing anything, and his food addiction continued to ruin his health. During his appearance on the show, Ryan relied on his mother and her boyfriend for his basic needs. His weight had always been a disadvantage because he couldn't shower or control his eating. But weight wasn't the only thing that Ryan Barkdahl from My 600 Pound Life was battling. He was also battling drug and alcohol addiction, and junk food kept him going.
After my appointment yesterday, I came home and told my mom and Leroy. And they said they were proud of me and excited that I'm gonna be able to get the help I need. But now that I made it to this point, I need to go back to how I was doing this. And not being able to have that made the last couple months way too hard. And I didn't want to argue. So I waited until she and Leroy told me they were taking a nap and they wouldn't hear the door. But I guess they weren't.
Eating some chicken.
I'm making dinner.
Okay.
So the dogs will have chicken for their dinner. I'm a little frustrated because I don't think I'm doing anything wrong.
Ryan Barkdahl's father walked away from his life shortly after his birth. Sadly, Ryan always called his father a sperm donor because he never tried to be a parent. Also, Ryan never met his father. His father was an addict and never helped him or his mother with anything when he was growing up. Ryan's mom remarried and introduced him to his stepfather at a very young age. Thus, Ryan always thought that his stepfather was his real dad. But his stepfather also didn't want to be involved in his life like a real father. And after his mother gave birth to a second child, Ryan felt like a burden to them. He was effectively cut out of the family. The thought of not being part of the family really bothered Ryan, so he started gaining weight and eating junk food when he was 10 years old, and before he knew it, he was already 100 pounds by then. But instead of helping him, his stepfather kicked him out of his house. Ryan moved to live with his grandparents. Unfortunately, he found out that his father had passed away from cancer and would never get the chance to have a relationship with him. Then, doctors diagnosed his grandfather with terminal cancer, and he passed away within 6 days of his doctor's appointment. Feeling hopeless, Ryan Barkdahl turned to drugs, alcohol, smoking, and excessive eating when one day his teachers caught him with marijuana and kicked him out of the football team. But that worsened the situation since he turned to cocaine pills and opiates. When all these things happened, Ryan Barkdahl was only 18 and weighed over 300 pounds. After a rough childhood, Ryan went for job training as a welder, then started a career as a welder, but his binge eating was too much. Unfortunately, he couldn't find consistent work. Despite his skills as a welder, lack of work forced Ryan to go back home. Ryan started partying and drinking too much. Fortunately, one of his friends saw him immersing himself in drinking, so he invited him to Montana to live with him and his wife as he helped him find a job. So Ryan got a job at a call center and was pretty good at it. Although Ryan worked hard at the call center, his binge eating was too much. As a result, he gained 600 pounds, forcing his boss to terminate his contract because he was too fat to work. But the sadness of that termination and his reliance on food to make him feel good made Ryan immobile, and he never recovered. Ryan met Dr. Now via video call during the COVID-19 pandemic. After a few minutes with the doctor, he discovered that people around Ryan, including Ryan himself, were on disability status and couldn't work. Dr. Now realized that Ryan didn't have enough motivators around him. Therefore, it would be challenging for him to lose weight. Ryan weighed 740 pounds when his journey on My 600 Pound Life began. But Ryan's journey to losing weight was inconsistent. He could only communicate with Dr. Now virtually, making it challenging for the doctor to track his progress.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, Ryan. How you doing?
Yes, that's correct.
All right. How old are you, Ryan?
I'm 31.
And that was how long ago?
Roughly 2 months ago.
Do you think you gained since that time?
It's 5'11" and 3/4 on paper.
Okay. So, with all that information, and it means your body has a lot of strain on it. And that is a very dangerous place for you to be.
You know, you have snow on the ground 5 months out of the year. So there's that issue from the friends that I was hanging out with in Oregon decided to go down a nasty dark path. I'm so ready to be able to walk and everything. All right, thank you so much, Dr. Now.
You're welcome. All right, bye now.
Bye-bye.
Furthermore, Ryan missed calls and had cheat days where he regularly ordered junk food. He then relocated from Montana to Houston, Texas, where he would be near Dr. Now. Unfortunately, it became clear that Ryan quit the program after 10 months. He would dodge appointments with his doctor and continued binge eating. Ryan was the first cast member of My 600 Pound Life who missed each of his appointments with Dr. Now. As a result, his total documented weight loss was barely 80 pounds. After 10 months, the Columbia Falls resident was still way above 650 pounds and showed no sign of improvement. It's unlikely that he underwent weight loss surgery or any other procedure since he never qualified for the same. Number 9. Shanae Murray. In Season 6, Episode 13, My 600 Pound Life viewers were introduced to Shanae Murray Hawkins, who was 27 years old at the time of filming. Her husband, Freddie, pretty much did everything for her. She needed help from Freddie to get out of bed and change her clothes. The Indianapolis woman confessed that Freddie was her primary caregiver as he sponge bathed and powdered her in bed.
Shanae showed up at the hospital yesterday claiming that she found nothing life-threatening. Shanae is likely making most of this up. See what I found.
Freddie.
What about Freddie?
That belongs to Freddie.
Shanae,
It was me that ate it. She didn't eat any of that.
you both need to stop lying.
She didn't do it, telling you the truth. Like, I wouldn't lie about that. Like, she really has been working for it.
You know you're not doing what you need. You miss all your psychotherapy appointments. And then you come, for some reason you think, if you just hold to your lie, then maybe all these issues just...
I've been working hard towards it.
But if you work hard, it'll show on the scale. But you put on almost 50 pounds.
Shanae felt like a burden to him and her entire family. The couple didn't have a smooth relationship due to Shanae's overdependency on her husband. When Shanae joined the show in 2018, she was going through a tough time in life. She and her husband were trying to have a baby and start a family, but the weight gain poured water all over their dreams. Murray was devastated by 2 miscarriages due to her weight. Shanae was deprived of being a mother and couldn't even have a normal life due to the excess weight on her. When she entered the show, she was determined to stop her reliance on her husband and wanted to be able to take care of herself. But that was only easier said than done, since it soon became clear that she wasn't willing to make the sacrifices required to reach her goal. Shanae's disordered eating stemmed from being carnally maltreated as a child, she explained on the show. When Shanae first met with Dr. Now, she weighed in at 712 pounds. Following routine health checks, it was also revealed that her BMI was 5 times the average healthy BMI range. Shanae was desperate to lose her extra weight to have a regular life and start a family with Freddie, but she wasn't totally honest with herself and didn't make a comfortable effort in a positive direction. She frequently disobeyed the doctor's advice and cheated with her diet. While on the show, Her relationship with Dr. Nazaruddin, the show's primary doctor, was rough.
Hello? Oh, tired, doctor, tired. I just literally got into my apartment.
No. You were supposed to lose 30 pounds by today. So I think this is just another issue.
Lost weight. Yes, you're right. But I just literally got into this place. I haven't had time to... I don't eat that much, but I still have water gain. And you tried to say no.
Janae, you've been in that body for 28 years, but I've been practicing medicine for twice that amount of time. And you don't want to listen, so don't try to teach me medicine.
Oh, I'm not trying to teach you medicine.
What does that have to do with this discussion? What I'm telling you is not a matter of faith. It's a matter of...
I believe in God, and I believe that God is going to take me as far as He wants me to.
The moral is that you are responsible for your behavior, not God.
After failing to meet her initial weight loss target set by Dr. Now, she was later hospitalized and managed to drop around 91 pounds. Shanae had struggled with her weight from an early age, and her traumatic past meant she found it difficult to properly commit to Dr. Now's plan. Dr. Now tried to help Shanae lose weight, but unfortunately, she ended up gaining more because she couldn't follow through with his advice. As a result, Shanae walked out of the show in 2018 without making any progress. During Shanae's final weigh-in on the show, it was revealed she actually gained around 43 pounds and ended up avoiding all contact with Dr. Now soon after getting on his program. This got fans fuming over her uncooperative attitude. Number 8. James Bedard. On My 600 Pound Life, James Bedard's kindness won fans' hearts. James appeared in episode 8 of My 600 Pound Life season 10, weighing 625 pounds. The 38-year-old New York native revealed himself as a family guy who loved Haitian food. Coming from a household where his father was largely absent, Bedard indulged in rich Caribbean meals as a child, reaching over 100 pounds by the time he was 6 years old.
I wake up in the morning time. The first thing I do before I even brush my teeth, what I'm going to order for breakfast. That's the first thing I do.
All right, can I get the 2 slices of steakhouse premium pancake? Can I get the original French toast?
The amount of stuff that you could get is just crazy.
Let me get a slice of ham. 2 of them.
Okay. Is that all?
Yes. And once it get here, it's the best part of my day because I love it again.
Something in my head is telling me I have to eat the food.
At the beginning of his episode, his weight was unknown, though he suspected it to be in the 600-pound range. James, however, admitted to the cameras that his heart was in Florida with his partner, Pumpkin. He also had a passion for writing and creating music that he had discovered in Florida. He, however, was unwilling to put his partner in a place where she had to be his girlfriend and his caretaker, so he moved to New York to be closer to family. James wanted to go back to Florida, but he said he had to lose weight first. Unlike other people, James was gifted with big bones, resulting in slow metabolism and developing extreme food cravings. More than anything, his mental health did him wrong, as during his early childhood years, he lived with very little attention and the absence of his father. This acted as a negative catalyst, and craving his father's love caused him emotional traumas and stressed him out. Living with only his mother, who was stuck making ends meet, his family dinners involved James cleaning up his plate before his mother returned from work. And thus, Bedard's weight crossed 100 pounds at just the age of 6. With a growing unhealthy relationship with food and having no workout routine in his life, James's food craving went too far. Ever resourceful, it might be astounding to know that he befriended all the lady friends during his high school hours so that they could benefit him by sharing their lunch. James Bedard was always eating, from morning breakfast to school hours. His mouth was never empty. At the age of 8, Bedard was exactly 300 pounds, and more than thriving to curb his weight, his continuous consumption of food led him to gain 200 pounds the following year. His life was totally making its directions to adding pounds to his body, and in his high school days, James was vested a beautiful opportunity to work in a security company, paying him enough money. While this job may have developed a feeling of independence in him, it acted as a malediction, and therefore, squandering his wages for whatever he wanted to eat, James's unhealthy obsession with food burgeoned its peak. Conversely, age 23, James Bedard moved to Florida, seeking his career in music, and his music partner kept him on diet for his proper health. For some years, his weight was stabilized, but he had a hard time sticking to the plans, and thus didn't last that long. After spending years in New York, totally dependent on his brother and friends, a wave hits him hard, developing an urge to shed some pounds. Therefore, James decided to take help from Dr. Now for My 600 Pound Life. By the time he appeared on the show, Bedard weighed 625 pounds and was dealing with serious depression and health issues, so the challenge was on for Dr. Now to tackle his new patient.
You okay? That took a lot out of you?
Y'all doing?
Hey, Dr. Now, how you doing?
Now.
Y'all doing okay?
Hey, how you doing?
Yes,
Good.
we are. What about you?
And you have a BMI of almost 104.
You know, on a day-to-day basis, lunch, breakfast, dinner, lately.
So you didn't because of depression?
Yes.
Have you done to change that?
I mean, you know, I haven't done anything, to be honest with you. I just look at me, how I'm treated out in the real world and stuff like that. So I just block out the world and I just stay home. Dr. Now, I'm here to see you because I'm willing to do whatever it takes, right?
Filling his inner self with full determination, diligence, and dedication, James made his way to seek the doctor's help, which opened a small door in his weight loss journey. So just how did Bedard tackle those challenges? Bedard was initially more determined than ever to go through with Dr. Now's plans, which intended to see him lose 80 pounds within 2 months. However, within 3 months of starting the program, Bedard's father suddenly passed away due to heart complications. The loss hung heavily on the Bedard family, and he chose to take some time away from his rigorous exercise and diet regime to care for his mother. Dr. Now initially allowed Bedard to take some time off, hoping that he could lose 75 pounds within the month. However, even after this, he found it difficult, after which Dr. Now pushed him even further, with serious worries about Bedard's health coming to the forefront. He went on to lose only 20 pounds within his given time, which he was proud of despite Dr. Now's concerns. Over the course of a year, Bedard would lose an astounding 119 pounds, making him eligible for weight loss surgery. At the moment, there's no confirmation if he has gone through and gotten the surgery, as he has no social media presence. Along with this, he didn't relocate to Houston, Texas, as many of the show's past participants have done, as this is where Dr. Now operates. Number 7. Karina Garcia. When we first met My 600 Pound Life star Karina Garcia, not to be confused with the DIY slime YouTuber, mind you, she weighed a total of 633 pounds. At the time, Karina was wheelchair-bound and lived with her parents, who were both her biggest supporters and her biggest enablers. According to Karina, her food addiction stems from a childhood illness. Karina, the oldest of 3 children, had revealed that while she and her sister were only 10 months apart, she didn't get to spend much time with her when they were kids because she was so sick. In the 2018 episode, she explained that her parents were largely absent, which only further contributed to her feelings of loneliness.
I didn't die while I'm asleep. And because of my weight, I feel like my body's already giving up. That I can no longer live alone. I know I should be living in my own house. I should be working. And by the time that I do, I am out of breath. Grocery store, because I'll get what I know what I like. Sit in the back of the van on the floor. Riding in the back of the van makes me feel like I'm cargo.
Although her health had improved by the time she was 5 or 6, Karina's parents then had to work long hours to pay off the medical bills that had mounted. She complained that when she was younger and in the hospital, Everyone paid attention to her, and now it was like she didn't exist at all. All she really wanted was a little attention. She wanted a hug, but her parents were too busy to give it to her, so food was her hug, and as such, she spent all of her allowance on chips, soda, cookies, and cupcake. Food was always there to comfort me no matter what. Karina revealed that she weighed 100 pounds by the age of 10, and it wasn't long before her weight spiraled even further out of control. By the age of 15, Karina weighed 250 pounds and had fallen in with a bad crowd. At 23, she was over 400 pounds, and in another 10 years, she weighed 480 pounds, forcing her to give up her job as a nurse's assistant. She moved back in with her parents, and despite having a balloon inserted into her stomach, her failing health and debilitating size saw her confined to a wheelchair. Already completely sunk into her food addiction, Karina began hiding food from her family, sneaking in chocolate and pizzas when they left the house. But after finally realizing that her failing health was putting her life at risk, she turned to TV surgeon Dr. Yunan Nazaruddin. He put her on a 1,200 calorie a day diet, and in the first month, she lost 42 pounds. The doctor then removed the old balloon from her stomach, and Karina was scheduled in for gastric sleeve surgery. Dr. Nazaruddin told Karina that he wanted her to be out of her wheelchair and walking after surgery, but her initial results were a loss of just 7 pounds, prompting the surgeon to speculate that her emotional issues were hindering her weight loss journey. He advised her to go and see a psychotherapist to deal with her strained relationships with her parents, Maria and Ezekiel, and her sister, Marisabel. After the session, Karina got back on track, and after 12 months, she shed a total of 235 pounds, taking her down to 398 pounds, and had swapped a wheelchair for a walker. The morbidly obese woman was left wheelchair-bound by her 633-pound frame, who was left wheelchair-bound by her 633-pound frame, is on her way to walking again after managing to shed over 235 pounds in the space of a year. Number 6. Tammy Patton. Tammy Patton joined the show in Season 9, Episode 12. Tammy had an interesting and bumpy journey. When Tammy Patton appeared in Season 9 in 2021, she admitted to feeling trapped in her over 600-pound body. She was a 41-year-old grandmother who had her mother, Pauline, and her 2 daughters, 21-year-old Serenity and 19-year-old Elise, live with her to help her with everyday tasks. She could barely get up from her bed and clean herself up on her own, and only did it out of embarrassment from her family. Tammy was addicted to food to the point where even if she knew it was harming her, she couldn't stop herself. Her addiction began when she was only a 9-year-old kid, having to move to Texas from California with her mother and brother. Although she belonged to a happy family, it all went downhill after her family suffered financial turmoil and her father ended up being addicted to drugs. However, after the shift, Tammy couldn't adjust to her new environment and the separation from her father and home. Thus, for her, eating more and more was the only way of numbing down her pain and loneliness.
I think when you come accustomed to eating so much,
I would get it.
No, wasn't in my vocabulary. You know, I
just like she didn't know how to stop. I'm gonna say most of the time I'll give in.
Food is my only escape. Eat as much as I want. After I eat, I'll snack. I snack all day. I can, and I love it. I love everything about it, except how I know it's killing. I don't want it to get to the point where it's unbearable.
Even after weighing 150 pounds at the age of 10, neither Tammy nor her mother realized her problem. The latter, in fact, admitted to contributing to her daughter's addiction just to make her happy. As Tammy kept eating without any diet and gaining weight, she weighed more than 300 pounds when she graduated high school. She then went out of Texas to join college, but got homesick and returned home, only to find that her mother also had a drug addiction. She further turned to food for escape and weighed over 350 pounds by the age of 19. However, soon after she met Victor Greer, Tammy's life was changing for the better as it became stable and they had 3 children together, the firstborn being their son, and then their daughters Serenity and Elise. Unfortunately, their relationship didn't last, causing them to break up, and Victor only remained in touch with his children. But in a shocking incident, Victor was jabbed to demise by his then-girlfriend out of jealousy, as she suspected he might get back together with Tammy. She once again felt all alone as a 22-year-old single mother and bottled her emotions with food. She continued to live her life, with her food addiction growing more and more, as by the time of joining the show, she weighed 594 pounds. But finally, she understood that she didn't want to depend on others any longer and wished to attend her grandchildren like any other grandmother, and thus she made her way to Dr. Now in Houston. Tammy had a bumpy journey even in her time on the show. She was initially given the goal to lose 60 pounds in 2 months, and she took a serious approach to proceed with the diet and exercises diligently. When she measured her changes on her at-home specialty scale, she had only lost 19 pounds in a month, and thus asked for some extra time from Dr. Now.
So, what brought you down here?
Weight loss.
Okay, so you're on?
Tried a couple of diets. I've tried to just not eat.
Well, none of them work because they're not sustainable. So that never worked long term because it's not sustainable. So what drives you to eat? Hunger? Or does you never get full? Or are you hungry all the time? I can understand. But eating from habit, there is no excuse for that.
Putting into my body.
All right, so if you want to lose weight, then from here on out, you need the choice to eat whatever you want, whenever you want. Then there is no magic I can do to make you lose, to make the choice to follow it. And you're going to have to do the hard work.
Yes, sir.
Ultimately, eating out of habit, then long term, you're going to fail. And the surgery won't help you.
Next, when she visited for her follow-up checkup after 4 months, she had lost 44 pounds and weighed 550 pounds. Since that wasn't enough, Dr. Now asked her to lose another 40 pounds in 2 months to qualify for bariatric surgery. Tammy was also instructed to see a psychologist who helped her heal emotionally by encouraging her to visit Victor's grave and process his death. Then, as the COVID-19 pandemic hit the world, Tammy's progress also became slow and she couldn't lose any more weight around that time. Upon visiting Dr. Now after a few months, she gained back her courage and put a resilient effort to lose enough weight to be eligible for surgery. She began weighing her food intake and kept a regular pace with her exercises and finally managed to lose 126 pounds and weighed 468 pounds by the end of her episode. Number 5. Mike McGinnis. One wonderful story was presented by Mike McGinnis, who appeared in Season 10, Episode 4. His positive attitude and motivation to better his life garnered him several fans. While Mike McGinnis appeared in the show in Season 10 in 2021, the 37-year-old lived in his parents' basement in Marion, Ohio. He had a hard time moving around as he weighed around 745 pounds, and even coming out of the basement up to the house felt like the most arduous task for him. Eating loads of food was the only thing that made everything better for him. Being a heavy guy wasn't new for Mike since he had crossed the 100-pound mark when he was only 6 years old. Hence, Mike was familiar with weight issues since his childhood, which is something that isn't shared by many of his siblings. However, as the number on the scale kept increasing with a 6.5-inch height, he decided to use it in his favor. He got into football, where his talent helped him dream big and live a more active life. But that was accompanied by constant bullying by his peers, which instigated his unhealthy eating habits again. As the cycle continued, Mike's dreams faced another setback when he sustained 2 consecutive concussions and was declared medically ineligible to play for the NCAA. Consequently, he lost his football scholarship. Mike felt devastated, as it meant he also had to drop out of college. Soon, Mike found some happiness from his marriage and the birth of his 4 adorable children. But nothing could curb his binge-eating habits, and things were only getting worse for him. As his wife was tired of managing the household by herself, she warned him about filing for divorce if she didn't take care of his health. Although Mike attended an in-treatment facility where he was diagnosed with depression and binge eating disorder, his weight loss efforts didn't last long. After around 2 years, Mike's wife actually asked him for a divorce in the presence of their children. Following that, Mike only gained more weight. However, suffering in his parents' basement without his children, he realized he needed a change for their sake. Once Mike approached Dr. Now for help, he was asked to buckle up to reach his target weight.
All right, so you're down to 5'10" today, huh?
Yeah.
All right,
Oh, yeah.
That's good, you're making good progress, but you're still a little under what you should be losing each month. And remember, you're back on the same environment that got you to be 740 to intervene and help you. And if that happens, you could find yourself very easily putting on you a little bit more each month. But if you don't and you start to gain, then we have to bring you back to Houston.
Absolutely. I'm not going to let that happen. I'm doing meal prepping, making sure I have everything set up for the day, portions, and not getting hungry at all. So.
Okay. Oh, well, that's good.
Thus, he made serious efforts to stick to his diet and daily exercises with the constant support and help of his parents. When Mike was unable to move to Houston for a long stretch of his surgery because of his custody arrangement with his ex-wife, he mostly followed up with Dr. Now via video calls. Eventually, he only stayed in Houston for 2 months post his bariatric surgery and continued the program from his home after that. By the end of his journey on the show, Mike had lost 235 pounds and brought down his weight to 510 pounds. Number 4, Christina Phillips. Christina Phillips weighed 708 pounds and hadn't left her house in 2 years before she decided to regain control of her life. She couldn't even walk 8 feet without feeling like she was going to die. Christina was 22 years old when she first appeared on My 600 Pound Life and had become completely dependent on her family and husband Zach to help her with her most basic needs.
It's hard because of my weight. I feel like my knees are gonna collapse. And I have it on the side. It disgusts me to look at my legs. I can't take care of myself any longer. You squish that one.
Growing up, Christina witnessed her parents arguing all the time and turned to food to cope. By the time she was 12 years old, she weighed 286 pounds. This resulted in a difficult adulthood, with Christina bedridden and unable to care for herself. On the show, Dr. Nazarian prescribed Christina a strict diet plan and recommended exercise before she could qualify for gastric bypass surgery. As she continued to make progress, Christina realized her husband was threatened with her newfound independence and he had been enabling her throughout their marriage. So Christina decided to divorce Zach, who had become unsupportive of her happiness and transformation. Despite the heartbreak, she went on with the surgery and lost 525 pounds.
It's been about a month since we've seen Dr. Nazar. I haven't really had much of an appetite. I just haven't been that hungry. Fast food's what we've been eating mostly, but not like I used to. I'm nervous. If Dr. Now doesn't see a lot of weight loss, he might not give me the surgery.
So instead of, it's not water. For that, you have to drink at least 300 gallons of, when you got an enabler here, when you ask a question, enabler would answer. So why don't you let her answer?
But instead of celebrating her hard-earned success, she began to struggle with her body image. Despite being met with obstacles throughout her transformation journey, Christina was determined to maintain her physical and mental well-being and looks forward to the little things now. Number 3, Lucas Higdon. Lucas Higdon has changed dramatically since transforming his body on My 600 Pound Life. The Texas native was 33 years old when he debuted on the hit TLC show in December of 2021. On Season 10, Episode 9 of My 600 Pound Life, fans were introduced to 33-year-old Lucas Higdon. Lucas lived on his family's compound in Conroe, Texas, and had no idea how much he actually weighed. He admitted to his sister Megan that he hadn't stepped on a scale since 2017, and when he finally did, he learned that he weighed over 619 pounds. Like other My 600 Pound Life cast members, Lucas was often uncomfortable and had trouble moving. His size stopped him from traveling and made it harder for him to achieve his career goals. Those problems made Lucas feel sad. When talking to the cameras, Lucas said that his weight put a strain on his body. The stuff that he had to go through just to have a normal day was painful on multiple levels. Lucas added that he hadn't gone grocery shopping by himself in 4 or 5 years because he couldn't fit into the front seat of a car in order to drive himself. In the episode, he and his sister took a trip to the supermarket. While at the store, Lucas leaned on the shopping cart to help him get around. He wanted to make a change, and he wanted to learn how to stop using food as a way to cope with his emotions. Eventually, Lucas wanted to change and decided to revamp his eating habits. The 33-year-old reality star visited Dr. Now and began changing his lifestyle by embracing a low-calorie diet.
Hello, how y'all doing?
Good. All right, sir, how you doing?
Good. And you are over 600 pounds, huh?
Yes, sir.
And you only 32 years old.
It's been over a year now.
Before that, what kind of job you were doing? So, what is going on with your eating habits?
My eating habits, I tend to eat when I feel that, and it's in the snack. And then, like, during meals, I tend to overeat. Try to convince myself to just find different ways, but I tend to become addicted to certain things, like things that cause me to get stress and anxiety. So it becomes very, very difficult.
Within the first few months, he had dropped over 80 pounds and qualified for bariatric surgery. Soon after, he began working out at a gym and found a computer-related job at a community college. By the end of 12 months, Lucas had lost over 218 pounds and was motivated to continue his fitness journey. Number 2, Marla McCants. Marla McCants from Nashville, Tennessee, weighed a life-threatening 800 pounds when she first appeared on the show. After undergoing gastric bypass surgery, Marla moved with her daughter to Houston, Texas, where she continued to work with weight loss expert Dr. Now. Marla appeared on season 3 of My 600 Pound Life. When viewers first met her, she was approximately 800 pounds and bedridden at that. Marla couldn't even stand by herself. And being that she was a mother of 3, this made it extremely difficult for her to take care of her kids. She relied heavily on her daughters to help her do everyday tasks. She also had a nurse. Having a caretaker was a sore spot for Marla because while she was mobile, she had worked as a nursing assistant herself.
A couple of months ago, I was kind of depressed because things weren't going as I thought they would go, but it's gotten better. And I know getting some of this loose skin removed would help out tremendously. There you go. So I can't wait to get this surgery done. But it's been hard. I still have cravings. I miss fried chicken. It's a little frustrating.
We don't have no eggs.
Give me the cabbage. Probably more chicken than anything. But I've had a couple bags of chips. I'm going to the doctor soon, and I'm hoping he'll give me the go-ahead to get skin surgery.
Marla decided to undergo gastric bypass surgery with Dr. Now during the show. She was so dedicated to changing her life, she even moved to Houston from Nashville so she could continue to work with him. At the end of her episode, she was down to 534 pounds. Number 1, Nathan Prater. Both Nathan and his wife Amber were overweight and struggling to get their weight under control. Amber clocked in at 502 pounds, while Nathan was over 100 pounds heavier at 607 pounds. Dr. Now didn't sugarcoat what was happening to the couple. Dr. Now told the couple that they were throwing their lives away by slaying themselves with food.
Hello, how y'all doing?
Good, how are you? Plus, I will not eat anything past 6 o'clock. I've made it a point to make sure that I have dinner before.
Concern right now, seeing both of you is your wife has a weight problem too. So it's very hard for one person getting healthy and doing this with Nathan.
I actually already had weight loss surgery when I was 16. Somewhat better eating habits than he did. I've been preparing food for the last 10 years to his accommodations, really.
Would you consider yourself failure of the weight loss surgery or success?
Me?
Yeah.
Lost over 360 pounds on my first surgery.
Well, you're like a gambler and sitting at the table, and I was a successful gambler. So that's not the reality. Where are you at this point, and what you need to complicate it, and it's not something that your surgeon are equipped or willing to do, but that's something I needed to eat were never fully addressed. And in your case, your success was only short-term.
Their diet wasn't just slaying them, it was also slaying their marriage. Nathan complained that grocery shopping was the only thing that he and Amber really had left together. It was the only thing they did together aside from eating, and if you took eating and food out of their relationship, they wouldn't have anything left really. Amber explained in a confessional she had to provide a lot of care for Nathan, which put a severe strain on her. She also missed not having an intimate relationship. She wasn't trying to suddenly create one, but she did want to be able to spend quality time with her husband where it doesn't involve care. Sadly, all that care was also preventing Amber from taking the time to take care of herself. Though she weighed less than Nathan, she was worried that she would soon reach his size. But it wasn't just a physical strain having to care for her husband. She was also facing anxiety, depression, and constant exhaustion. Nathan reached his first milestone, getting under 150 pounds. Getting down 150 pounds was a huge accomplishment, but Nathan wasn't done just yet. Amber had also been posting accomplishments made by her husband, including being able to spend more time walking around and being with family.
Sarita Covington. Sarita Covington's story on season 11 of TLC's My 600 Pound Life is nothing short of inspiring. At just 31 years old, she embarked on a life-changing journey to shed the immense weight that had held her captive for far too long. Under the guidance of renowned bariatric surgeon Dr. Yuna Nawzaradan, affectionately known as Dr. Now, Sarita embarked on a quest to reclaim her life and regain her health. When Sarita first stepped onto the show, the scale revealed a staggering number, 603 pounds. This moment served as a stark wake-up call. But Sarita was determined to confront her demons and embrace a healthier future. With Dr. Now's expert guidance, she began her weight loss journey. Following a strict diet and exercise regimen tailored to her unique circumstances. However, the road to transformation was far from smooth. Dr. Now set a challenging condition for Sarita. She had to lose an additional 25 pounds within a month after an initial 59-pound weight loss to qualify for weight loss surgery. The stakes were high and the pressure was on. Despite the daunting task ahead, Sarita persevered. She faced not only the physical challenges of shedding the excess weight, but also the emotional hurdles tied to her traumatic past. Sarita's childhood was marred by mental and physical abuse. Food has become her solace, her coping mechanism for dealing with the unimaginable pain of her early years. The psychological scars ran deep, but Sarita was committed to healing from the inside out. Alongside her physical transformation, she embarked on a therapeutic journey to address the emotional scars that had contributed to her extreme weight gain. Her determination and resilience shone through as she confronted her past and took crucial steps towards recovery. As the months passed, Sarita's progress was not always linear. After 4 months, she had gained 9 pounds, instead of losing the required 25 pounds. It was a setback, but Sarita refused to let it define her journey. She redoubled her efforts, seeking solace in therapy and unwavering support from her loved ones. Dr. Now presented another challenge. Sarita needed to shed 40 pounds within 2 months to be eligible for weight loss surgery. This was a daunting task, but she approached it with unwavering determination. Although she fell short of the goal, losing 29 pounds instead, Dr. Now recognized her efforts and commitment to change. A year into her journey with Dr. Now, Sarita had made remarkable progress. She had shed an incredible 97 pounds, bringing her weight down to 506 pounds. Her transformation was undeniable, and it was a testament to her unyielding resolve to reclaim her life.
That was really good. When I first saw Sarita, huge potential.
So I like playing games with Lawrence or just having a good time going for a walk.
It's to change that. Or she's looking for a quick fix and a magical solution to fix it for her.
Point your toe out, just pick one, lift up, touchdown. Lift up, touchdown.
I was
vegetarian chorizo taste.
It was not bad.
And it has reached a dangerous point. The question is whether or not she's willing to do all she needs.
We're doing squats now, right here. Just squat down. You already started it. There you go. Yeah.
I'm a night owl. I'm up constantly all night. Now, today, we're gonna add some exercise into the mix.
Sarita Covington's My 600-Pound Life episode showcased her strengths and resilience, overcoming both physical and emotional trauma. Her journey was not about physical transformation, but also about breaking free from emotional shackles. Her aspirations to have a child with her partner, Lawrence, symbolized hope for a brighter future. Her determination to overcome a traumatic past and reclaim her health is an inspiration to others facing obesity and emotional trauma. Number 9. Karina Garcia. In Season 6 of the compelling reality series My 600-Pound Life, viewers were introduced to Karina Garcia, a 38-year-old native of Chicago, Illinois, who faced an incredible struggle with obesity. At the start of her journey on the show, Karina carried an astonishing 633 pounds on her frame, a burden that had severely limited her mobility and quality of life. Karina's day-to-day existence was a stark contrast to the life most people take for granted. She was nearly confined to her bed, unable to stand on her own, and reliant on a wheelchair for basic mobility within her home, and even when venturing outside. Her living arrangements were equally challenging, as she resided in her parents' living room and depended on them for virtually all her needs, including something as routine as grocery shopping. To truly understand Karina's battle with obesity, it is essential to delve into her past. She recounted her childhood, which played a pivotal role in her journey towards binge eating habits. Karina was the oldest of 3 siblings and suffered from frequent asthma attacks during her early years. These health issues garnered a significant amount of attention from her parents, attention that waned once she began to recover from her asthma attacks. Her parents had to work tirelessly, often taking on long hours and double shift to cover her medical bills. This left Karina feeling lonely and starved for the attention she had once received. It was during this time that she turned to food as a source of comfort and solace, leading to uncontrollable eating habits. Karina's weight skyrocketed at an alarming rate. By the tender age of 10, she already weighed 100 pounds, and by 15, she tipped the scales at a staggering 250 pounds. Her journey through college saw her battling obesity, and by the age of 23, she began working as a nurse's assistant. Unfortunately, her weight hindered her ability to perform her job effectively, leading to her departure from the workforce. This setback compelled Karina to move back in with her parents, where she embarked on various diets in a bid to regain control of her life. However, none of these attempts bore fruit, and she continued to spiral further into obesity, eventually reaching 600 pounds by the time she turned 37, necessitating her reliance on a wheelchair. In an effort to regain control of her life and health, Karina underwent a balloon procedure in her stomach aimed at curbing her insatiable appetite. This procedure did indeed lead to a significant weight loss of around 120 pounds. However, a devastating accident in which she injured her leg pushed Karina back into the clutches of her old eating habits. Desperate for a change and keenly aware of her deteriorating situation, Karina reached out to Dr. Now, renowned bariatric surgeon and star of the show. Although her family had their doubts, she embarked on a life-changing journey to Houston, Texas, seeking professional help to shed the excess weight that had held her hostage for far too long.
And I know my sister felt I wasted money. So I'm just nervous to talk to them about it. My first thought in the morning when I wake up is, I'm still alive. So I'm worried my family's going to think this is just another thing that's going to fail. And because of my weight, I feel like my body's already giving up. Today we're having our weekly family dinner. And I'm using today to let my family know I have lost most of my mobility and I can't stand on my own. They all paid for me to get my first weight loss surgery operation with the balloon. It is the only room where I fit, and it's close to the bath. That I'm going to try to get help. I try a lot of things to lose weight. Because of that, I can no longer live alone.
Under the guidance of Dr. Now, Karina received a customized diet plan tailored to her unique circumstances. Her path to weight loss was far from smooth, as she grappled with frequent lapses in self-control, often succumbing to the allure of junk food. She confessed about hiding junk food. Through unwavering commitment and resilience, Karina managed to shed enough weight to secure approval for gastric bypass surgery. Her journey was a testament to the power of the human spirit and the enduring hope that change is possible, even in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds. Number 8. Mark Rutland. In Season 11, Episode 5 of the gripping reality series My 600-Pound Life, we met Mark Rutland, a resident of Orlando, Florida, who was grappling with an extreme weight issue. When he first saw the expertise of renowned bariatric surgeon Dr. Yunan Nausaradan, commonly known as Dr. Now, Mark's weight had skyrocketed to a staggering 715 pounds. At this point, his life had become a relentless struggle, marked by pain, immobility, and dependence on others. Mark's weight had become such a burden that he was unable to participate in the most basic aspects of daily life. He had no choice but to opt for a work-from-home job, given the challenges his massive weight posed to his mobility. Simply put, day-to-day tasks had become a form of torture for him, both physically and mentally. He candidly shared the excruciating pain he experienced on a daily basis, and how his weight had taken a devastating toll on his mental health. In a poignant revelation, Mark expressed the profound sense of brokenness that had accompanied his extreme obesity. He acknowledged the reality of his condition, understanding that he had the power to change but was unable to break free from his destructive eating habits. For Mark, food had become more than sustenance. It was a fleeting escape from the relentless physical pain he endured. He acknowledged, when one gets to be that size, they are definitely mentally broken, and further stated, they understand that they are overweight and they possess the ability to make changes. However, they struggle to cease eating because eating is the only respite they find from the constant physical pain. It's the sole moment when they experience happiness. Mark's weight gain was primarily fueled by a combination of binge eating and an addiction to fast food. These habits had led to the partial loss of his mobility, a turning point that forced him to seek the help of Dr. Now. However, Mark's determination and approach to his weight loss journey set him apart from many other cast members who have appeared on the show. While most patients on My 600-Pound Life aspire to undergo bariatric surgery as a means to achieve significant weight loss, Mark had a different perspective. He was steadfast in his decision to continue his weight loss journey without surgical intervention. This decision raised concerns among his parents and loved ones, who worried about the potential health risks associated with such extreme weight loss. Even Dr. Now, a seasoned medical professional in the field of bariatric surgery, advised Mark to consider surgery as a far more effective and less traumatic method of losing the necessary weight. However, Mark remained resolute in his belief that he could achieve his goal by losing 500 pounds naturally. Mark's family, particularly his mother and sister, April, expressed their deep concern regarding his decision to forego bariatric surgery.
Open my eyes in the morning, it's like, oh, tomorrow keeps coming. It hurts when I move. Every day gets harder to move, harder to breathe.
Yeah, keep going.
It's not done. I think he could be doing a little bit better, but I'm proud of Mark's progress so far.
And she's the one helping me plan meals and helping me make sure that we keep track of it and that I stay on top of the plan.
I keep telling him, cut back on the portion.
I use a protein shake as the creamer.
And what's a coffee?
But it has a reverse influence on me. The more you come at me like that, the more it makes me want to eat. My mom and my sister have both told me they think I'm doing great. And my weight loss has been an inspiration to the whole family. When I saw that number on the scale today, my first thought was, holy you think there would be disappointment? You think there would be fear?
They emphasized the rarity of such an opportunity and encouraged him to seize it. Nonetheless, Mark remained unwavering in his determination to continue his journey without surgery. By the end of the episode, Mark Rutland had chosen to pursue his weight loss goals through his preferred method, standing firm in his decision to avoid surgery. His journey on My 600-Pound Life showcased the complexities and challenges of battling extreme obesity, as well as the deeply personal choices individuals make in their pursuit of a healthier, happier life. Number 7. Stephanie Smith. Stephanie Smith's appearance on season 11 of My 600 Pound Life left both viewers and medical professionals with more questions than answers. Her inconclusive stint on the show raised eyebrows and curiosity, and it's time to delve into what she has been doing since her appearance. Stephanie's struggle with food addiction began during her childhood. As a young girl, she found solace in overeating, a habit that escalated after her parents' divorce. The emotional turmoil of the separation led Stephanie to turn to food as a coping mechanism. And this unhealthy relationship with food only worsened as time went on. Tragedy struck when her father, who had been trying to reconcile with her mother, tragically passed away in an accident. Motivated by a deep desire to transform her life, Stephanie sought the help and guidance of Dr. Yuna Nawzaradan, known as Dr. Now on My 600 Pound Life. At the outset of her episode, Stephanie carried a weight of approximately 611 pounds, placing her in a category where she was deemed too heavy to qualify for gastric bypass surgery, a procedure that could potentially help her shed the excess weight. Undeterred by this setback, and with the unwavering support of her mother and her 2 children, Stephanie committed to Dr. Now's program. In the initial stages of her journey, Stephanie showed promising progress. However, her sudden decision to opt out of the program caught many by surprise. Dr. Nawzaradan, a renowned bariatric surgeon known for his expertise in helping morbidly obese individuals embark on successful weight loss journeys, had provided Stephanie with a personalized diet plan aimed at jump-starting her transformation. Unfortunately, the expected results were not forthcoming, leading Dr. Now to suspect that Stephanie may not have been adhering to the prescribed diet. The surprise came when, toward the end of the episode, Stephanie abruptly cut ties with Dr. Now. She blocked his calls and refused to attend scheduled appointments, a decision that left both Dr. Now and the viewers bewildered. Stephanie not only chose to opt out of the program, but also leveled accusations against Dr. Now, accusing him of giving up on her. The sudden change in Stephanie's attitude and her decision to discontinue her journey left many wondered about her next steps. Her episode on My 600 Pound Life served as a stark reminder of the complexity of battling food addiction and obesity, and how deeply ingrained emotional issues can impact an individual's weight loss journey.
But my life took a turn for the worst when my parents split up.
It affects my life because I don't want to do anything without her, so I don't. Found out he was an alcoholic that liked to abuse. I had no support whatsoever. I worry all the time that she's not going to wake up and I'll come and I'll find her not alive. I was a truck driver, so he was on the road a lot. Him and I had a fallout, and he left.
Mom and stepdad come over just about every day to help me do what I need to do.
And then so I called my husband, Stephanie's dad, and said I needed help on hold so she doesn't feel bad if I go do something and she can't.
While Stephanie's journey on the show may have ended on an uncertain note, her story serves as a reminder that the path to transformation is not always straightforward, and the struggles individuals face in their battle against obesity can be deeply rooted in emotional and psychological challenges. Stephanie's post-show decisions remain a mystery, leaving room for speculation about her future and whether she will eventually find the support and motivation she needs to regain control of her life and health. Number 6. LaTanya Potane. LaTanya Potane, a memorable figure in Season 11 of My 600 Pound Life, has left a lasting impression on viewers, and it's worth exploring what has transpired in her life since her appearance on the popular TV series. Her weight loss journey on the show was marked by challenges and setbacks, ultimately ending with Dr. Yuna Nawzaradan conveying his inability to assist her further due to her non-compliance with his program. At the commencement of her episode, LaTanya, a 37-year-old hailing from Shreveport, Louisiana, carried a staggering weight of 632 pounds. She revealed that she had previously encountered Dr. Now 5 years prior, but had not followed through with his program at the time. This second opportunity in My 600-Pound Life was a critical juncture in her life, and it was met with both hope and apprehension. LaTanya was not alone in her journey. She had a support system in place consisting of her fiancé Dwayne, her nephew Adrian, and her dedicated caretaker Virgie. However, despite the encouragement and assistance she received, LaTanya faced significant challenges in meeting the weight loss goals outlined by Dr. Now. Throughout her time on My 600-Pound Life, LaTanya's progress was marked by a series of weight fluctuations. Rather than losing the necessary pounds to qualify for weight loss surgery, she found herself gaining weight during her consultations with Dr. Now. The only instance where she experienced weight loss was when she was hospitalized due to a severe heart issue. Under controlled conditions and a strict diet, LaTanya was able to shed some pounds, demonstrating that progress was indeed possible. However, Dr. Now set a crucial benchmark for her success. LaTanya needed to lose 60 pounds at home to demonstrate her commitment and ability to follow the program independently. This condition was imposed to ensure her safety and readiness for weight loss surgery. The stakes were high, and her journey hung in the balance. LaTanya's post-My 600-Pound Life journey continues, marked by the ongoing battle against obesity. While her episode on the show may not have culminated in the desired outcome, her commitment to her health and well-being is evident. With perseverance, support, and the guidance of healthcare professionals, LaTanya strives to overcome the obstacles that have held her back for so long. The challenges she faces are significant, but LaTanya's story is a reminder that the journey to weight loss and improved health is not linear. It is marked by setbacks and successes, and with determination, she may yet achieve her goal and secure a healthier, happier future.
Adrian got the keys. He waiting for you outside.
Okay, I'm coming.
It's cool.
He's completely devoted to me because I helped him get out of prison. I go grocery shopping maybe once a month because it's hard for me to get back and forth to the grocery store. But still, I don't want him to feel like he have to take care of me.
Yeah?
Yeah. Would you tell Adrian I'm coming? Better can even take care of my fiance as a woman because of me being overweight. So it can be already ready.
All right. All right, baby.
Thanks, bud. Thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Dr. Now's words echo in her journey. Her life depends on it, and she continues to push forward, one step at a time. Number 5. Chris Parsons. In the realm of reality TV, few shows captivate viewers quite like My 600-Pound Life. And among the show's array of compelling episodes, few patients have left as shocking an impression as Chris Parsons. His journey under the guidance of renowned bariatric surgeon Dr. Yunan Nausaradan is nothing short of remarkable. Typically, the primary goal for patients on My 600-Pound Life is to prepare for and recover from weight loss surgery. For individuals carrying a significant amount of excess weight, surgery often represents the most effective avenue towards achieving a healthier weight. Dr. Now emphasizes that the surgical intervention is a means to an end, a tool to help patients build a sustainable, long-term, and healthy lifestyle. Chris Parsons entered the spotlight when he first weighed in at a staggering 620 pounds. However, what sets Chris apart is his unique determination to initiate change through dietary modifications and exercise. Without the need for weight loss surgery, his decision to embark on this challenging path was motivated by a powerful force: his love for his daughter, Zoe. Chris was driven to shed the pounds, not only for his own benefit, but to be more active and present father for Zoe. His resolve was unwavering, and he embarked on a journey of self-improvement under Dr. Now's guidance. Through a commitment to a revamped diet, exercise regimen, and sheer determination, Chris managed to shed an astounding 250 pounds. By the conclusion of his episode on My 600-Pound Life, Chris's transformation was nothing short of awe-inspiring. He had dropped to 364 pounds without the need for weight loss surgery, proving that incredible change is achievable through dedication and hard work. What made Chris's journey even more heartwarming was the ripple effect it had on his family. As he embarked on his path to better health, his mother and brother chose to join him on the journey. They embraced his dietary changes and began to experience their own progress, even though they had less weight to lose. Chris's quest for better health inspired not only himself, but also those closest to him, creating a positive domino effect within his family.
Hey, Dad.
Hey,
Zoe. Oh my God.
Hi.
Or she's gonna end up enabling him. Hopefully, both of them are serious about what they are saying.
You know, the 1,200 calories a day. And then I do enjoy fasting. I mean, I feel really good when I do it.
Tonight, we're gonna make dinner and sit together with my mom and my daughter.
As soon as I hit that first bite, I eat it all. I call it going red. I can't stop. Like once I leave here, I'm going to just a constant.
Just kind of jump too, you know?
Picture me, I'm gonna hide over here in the corner.
A lot of goals I wanted to get to really fast to kind of help jumpstart everything.
While many episodes of My 600-Pound Life are marked by heartbreak, Chris's story stands out as a testament to the power of determination, familial support, and the possibility of transformation without surgery. His journey reminds us that there is no one-size-fits-all approach to achieving a healthier life, and the pursuit of well-being is a deeply personal and empowering endeavor. Number 4. Patrick Macon. Patrick, 42, began the TLC program motivated to make a change in his life and achieve his future objectives. He weighed about 657 pounds at the time. Patrick needed help with every household task because of his large belly fat and weight. In addition, he needed assistance to live a better life, independent of others because of his weight, and was in agony. Patrick discussed the issues he has with his weight in the show. He made a solemn declaration, stating that his weight is causing him tremendous pain, and each morning when he awakens to the light of day, he finds himself astonished to be alive. He experiences a daily sense of loathing and suffering, deeply resenting how his body is progressively failing him. Patrick turned to Dr. Yunan Nausaradan for help because he hated how much of a burden he had become to his wife Amanda and daughter Haley. After making only a token effort to follow the diet prescribed by Dr. Now, he gained even more weight over the course of 6 months and was forced to hear the harsh reality from his doctor. The doctor therefore set Patrick's goal weight loss for 3 months at 130 pounds. In order to qualify for a weight loss surgery, he needed to shed the necessary amount of weight. Patrick unfortunately only lost 40 pounds. He had made strides, but Dr. Now said that in order to be a candidate for the procedure, he still needed to shed more weight. Patrick had 2 more months from Dr. Now to lose 100 pounds, but he gained 25 pounds instead. He was told that unless he started taking things more seriously, he should cease making the 11-hour commute from Houston, Texas to Columbus, Georgia, where he was from. Because of this, the doctor advised Patrick to visit a local clinic to have his weight loss monitored. After 2 more months, having lost 51 pounds,
Since my appointment with Dr. Now, the progress has been going pretty good.
Get up in the morning and do whatever needs to be done so he can get breakfast.
And he's trying to spend time with Haley and myself.
I have addiction to food because nothing makes me feel as good as I do when I have food in my mouth.
Camping makes me happy because Patrick is getting to where he can.
Recently, his health has decreased. I try to help him.
I'm getting more active. I feel like I've lost enough weight. I can take him camping.
And hopefully feel better because eating is a relief for him.
he weighed 591 pounds. After he underwent a gastric sleeve treatment and kept losing weight, Patrick and Amanda moved to Houston. At the end of the episode, he weighed 531 pounds after losing a total of 126 pounds. Number 3. Crystal Rowlands. Tatiana and Ivoriana Rowlands, two of Crystal Rowlands' daughters, lived with her in Spring Valley, California, where she was a 39-year-old mother. She was being cared by her preteen daughters since she weighed 611 pounds and was unable to move without the aid of an oxygen tank. Her high blood pressure congestive heart failure, and limb swelling, in addition to the strain on her lungs, kept her in bed all day. Her daughters managed the family, went shopping, prepared meals, cleaned the house, and kept up with their schoolwork. Crystal, however, did not see raising her children in such a manner and felt miserable due to her eating practices. She was also acutely aware of the triggers and trauma that had caused her to overeat, which made her motivated to make positive changes in her life. As a child, Crystal only had meals together with her single mother because she worked overnight shifts at the donut store. She continued eating with her mother whether she had eaten before or not because she yearned for her presence. Crystal was already battling with an unhealthy weight gain, but the fact that her mother had remarried and moved in with her stepfather and his kids following the second marriage just made things worse for Crystal. Later, he was the one who assaulted her physically. Crystal, on the other hand, turned to food as her primary source of solace after confiding in her mother and, to her dismay, getting no response. After that, Crystal moved home with her grandmother, where she kept up her bad eating habits all the way through high school. By the time she was 12 years old, she had put on 200 pounds as a result. By the time she obtained her diploma, she had ultimately gained 420 pounds in total. Crystal was eventually able to get her freedom and move to California, but she ended up in two problematic situations. She had to put up with domestic abuse, especially from the second man who was also the father of her daughters. She was forced to put up with this abuse. She packed up her daughters and left for a new area because she was unable to tolerate the situation any longer. Josh, Crystal's half-brother, was able to help her out, and Crystal also had the support of her mother, with whom she finally became closer. The decision to get help from a professional to make changes on the way she lived her life finally came to Crystal. She consequently made the decision to travel to Dr. Now's clinic with her girls, Josh and her uncle Ben. She intended to remain at the clinic for however long it took for her to lose the weight she wanted to. The voyage to Houston, Texas, which took her 3 days to accomplish, was a tiring one due to the state of her health. She was advised after consultation with Dr. Now to follow a strict liquid diet of 400 calories per day with no carbohydrates and to exercise frequently. It was also advised that she seek therapy to help her deal with the traumatic events she had experienced as a child. She was forced to tell Josh that she had been physically molested as a child by this therapist.
I can't at my size, and if I try, it could end very badly. They're having to leave all their friends and their life here to do this with me. You know, me and my mom have had our issues, but she's still a big part of my life. I'm either hurt, stuck, or even both. I don't take that for granted at all. Did you find Ben, Josh?
Yeah, he's coming to help now.
Okay. And I won't be able to make this trip back for even longer.
Okay, just try and get as much done as you can while I take the tubs out and put them in the trailer first.
And it's gonna be hard for that part of me to be so far away. And in Houston. I wanna get this going, I wanna get loaded up, I wanna get on the road.
Crystal made a modest improvement over the course of 2 meetings after receiving a more restrictive diet and a health scare from Dr. Crystal did. However, make some progress at first. She then put in a lot of effort and returned with considerably better outcomes. Crystal lost 114 pounds in total and weighed 498 pounds after 8 months, marking a key turning point in her weight loss quest. She thereby satisfied the prerequisites for bariatric surgery. Number 2. Stephen Asante. Justin and Stephen Asante, famously known as the Asante brothers, made a memorable appearance on Season 5, Episode 13 of My 600-Pound Life, alongside renowned bariatric surgeon Dr. Yunan Nausaradan. It has been 6 years since their television debut, and their lives have since taken new directions, sparking curiosity about their post-show journeys. Dr. Yunan Nausaradan works as a Texas-based bariatric surgeon, has been the focal point of TLC's My 600-Pound Life. The show chronicles the arduous weight loss journeys of morbidly obese patients, typically those who weigh over 600 pounds, as they strive to transform their lives under the guidance of the esteemed physician, Dr. Now's rigorous weight loss regimens test the willpower and determination of his patients, with the ultimate goal of preparing them for life-changing bariatric surgery. However, the Asante brothers' journey on the show was marked by controversy and challenges. Steven, in particular, faced significant obstacles on his path to weight loss. His struggles with substance abuse and alleged verbal abuse of medical staff led to his expulsion from the hospital, casting a shadow over his potential for surgical intervention. Justin, on the other hand, left the hospital but remained steadfast in his commitment to the weight loss regimen prescribed by Dr. Now. His dedication ultimately allowed him to qualify for the life-altering bariatric operation. The Asante brothers' battles with food addiction were rooted in challenging upbringings that drove them to turn to emotional eating as a means of coping with their difficulties. Steven's notoriety on the show stemmed from his controversial behavior and reputation as an unsavory character. In contrast, Justin maintained a more reserved demeanor throughout their My 600 Pound Life journey. In the years following their television appearance, the Asante brothers have each embarked on individual paths. Their story serves as a testament to the complexities of battling food addiction and obesity, and the challenges that arise when confronting deeply ingrained emotional issues. While Steven and Justin may have left a lasting impression on My 600 Pound Life for different reasons.
Hi. And I'm not sure if I did that. It's hard, but it feels good to do what I'm supposed to be doing. Thank you. And now, I'm supposed to see Dr. Nazardin for my checkup. I've been in the hospital now for a little over a month and it hasn't been too bad. I was supposed to lose at least 40 pounds and get under 670. Oh my God. But there have been some frustrating moments that have been harder for me to deal with. But I do feel like I made some progress. Mostly how long it takes for people to respond to the call button.
Their post-show lives remain a source of curiosity for viewers. Their journeys underscore the resilience of the human spirit and the enduring quest for a healthier, happier life, even in the face of the most formidable obstacles. Number 1. Christina Phillips. My 600 Pounds, the inspirational ones, like Christina Phillips, tend to stand out among the many stories that life recounts on the program. She turned to Dr. Yuna Nauzaradan for assistance because he is known for helping his patients shed pounds and get in shape for weight reduction surgery. Christina, who was only 22 years old when she started weighing nearly 700 pounds, put in a lot of effort and did as Dr. Now advised in order to improve her life. Christina put in the effort and fundamentally altered her life with the support of the doctor as she navigated her weight loss. Christina had a lot of work to do before she could be a candidate for weight loss surgery because she started off weighing more than 600 pounds. Christina was put on a rigorous diet by My 600 Pound Life's Dr. Now after she spoke up about her troubles, including how she found it difficult to simply move around her home. The lack of support from her mother and husband made it challenging for her to even bring up the subject of weight loss, much less give it a shot. She underwent bariatric surgery and shed more than 500 pounds. Though Christina had a new lease on life and eventually weighed approximately 185 pounds, she found that living after dropping the weight was far from simple. Despite the fact that Christina was able to significantly enhance her life following her weight loss procedure, she ran into a few roadblocks. Christina's mental health deteriorated when she lost a substantial amount of weight, as shown by the fact that she experienced anxiety every time the number on the scale moved. Christina went through phases where she would go days without eating because of her anxiousness. She developed a pattern of disordered eating as a result, which made her feel stressed and hungry. The star of My 600 Pound Life could see the changes in her physique and was aware that she weighed less than 700 pounds, but she still thought like a woman who weighed that much, which was a very difficult wall to get over. At the time that Christina was struggling to embrace her significant weight loss and come to grips with her body image, she became aware that her relationship was in jeopardy. Zach, her husband, did not support her efforts to lose weight or the changes she underwent to her appearance after doing so. Since he wanted to keep Christina confined and under control, Zach had been promoting Christina's bad eating habits for years and even tried to persuade her not to get weight loss surgery.
I live close to my mother. She helps out a lot.
I really want removed. So I've been eating less. I'm hoping that the doctor will approve me for surgery.
I have to have help getting dressed or getting up out of bed, being put in bed. I feel like my knees are gonna collapse.
I used to hate having to weigh myself. I was scared I'd break the scale. I've gained a whole new independence. And I finally moved out from my family's house.
I have to have help getting dressed or getting up out of bed, being put in bed. No, it hurts.
It's been almost 2 months since my arm surgery, and I'm pretty much done healing. And I would have never imagined life could be so great. But I still don't feel good about my body. The skin on my legs.
Zach's actions were a direct outcome of his desire to maintain control over Christina. Christina decided to quit her relationship with Zach and start a new life on her own after taking responsibility for her health. Despite some challenges along the way, the heroine of My 600-Pound Life was able to end her old life and start a new one. That's all for this video, folks. See you next time.